It's time to go in the garage with Bodie Stroud.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to In the Garage. I'm Bodie Stroud.
I'm Mitchell McDonald.
And I'm Nikki.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Boy, this is tough, huh? Getting back into the swing of things.
Right? Welcome back, you guys.
I know, you too. Gosh, how was everybody's holidays? Well, I know how yours were. I think. I don't know. Actually, I don't. No. I don't care.
He knows because of Facebook.
He doesn't care about mine either. No, the great thing about it is I wasn't on Facebook much or anything like that.
No?
I don't go on it a lot. Nah.
I saw your new video, though, on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, you have a video
I haven't
trending.
seen it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Awesome.
So
Nice.
check that out, Bodie Stroud. Go to YouTube and you can see his new creation.
Wow, very cool. All right, I did not know that. Seriously, I was sick.
Oh, no.
Yep, I was sick for over a week. It's still lingering a little bit. I missed Monday, actually, first day back, and but I think I'm gonna live.
That's good.
That's the good news. It could be the bad news, but for now it's the good news.
At least you're rested. You got your rest. You're
Oh
back.
God, I don't know about that.
No.
You know, I got 3 kids and in the business, and we got so much happening this year, and so many good things going on, and new things. We got new things, and when you got new things going on, there's a lot to get it moving. It seems like you exhaust yourself trying to get the ball to start rolling. You know what I mean? I've owned a lot of businesses over, the course of the last 25 years. Not a lot, but a few. And for some reason, this one seems so hard to get everybody on the same page and get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, and it's sucks the life right out of you.
Yeah.
But anyways, want to thank everybody for listening. As always, listen to us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on crntalk.com. Every week we are brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, steelrubber.com. Check them out. They're awesome.
Awesome.
Yep, and we're doing another year. So we're going into our 3rd year with the show, which is pretty exciting.
Yes.
I like things that last. You know what I mean? It's been a bumpy road, and it's like starting a new business. Any business you start, it's you try and feel which direction to head into, and who likes what, and who's digging this or digging that, and it's tough. There's so many different ways you can go, so we're trying to funnel that, right?
Yes.
And I think we're doing okay. I don't know, Mitchell.
I think it's getting better every time.
There you go. See,
Yeah.
if Mitchell says it, it's got to be true. It's got to be true. Oh man,
Yeah.
so
I think every year you build a solid team. That's what it takes to get the ball up and moving. And it's that solid team that you continue and you try to find, and look who you have sitting right next to you.
well,
And that's
the
the
same
start
guy
of
that's
your-
been sitting next to me since the beginning. So
Exactly. That's
that
the
is
start of your team.
Yeah. And he still talks just as much as the
You
day I
talk
met him.
so much, Mitchell. Stop
I do what I
it.
can.
I do what I can, yeah. Oh, we got Jonathan Klinger, VP of Public Relations from Haggerty Insurance joining us. And I know Jonathan. I spent time with Haggerty. I've been to Traverse, Michigan. I've seen their facility. Amazing facility. I tell everybody about it. I think I was there, what was that, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Year and a half ago, something like that.
Yep.
And it is the most awesomely ran, I don't know if that's a word, awesomely, but it is the most awesomely ran business I'd ever seen. Yeah, I wanted to work there. I wanted to live there and move there, live there, work there.
Wow.
Anyways, we'll be talking to Jonathan when we come back. You're listening to CRN Digital Talk Radio. Welcome back to In the Garage. Yeah, a lot going on. It's New Year.
2015.
Just like I'm trying to wrap my brain around it because it happens so fast. The holidays happen so fast, and then you're here. And you're thinking, the whole time when I'm off, my brain's always spinning, and you're thinking, okay, this is what I'm going to do for 2015.
How are we going to make 2015 better than 2014?
Exactly. So, and we always got if I spend too much time on the couch, which I did because I was sick,
Oh no.
my brain really gets going. But then I come here and reality sets in because it's hard work. You gotta
Yeah.
work. It's easy to think about it, but then you actually have to do it. So, right, Mitchell? And I wish Mitchell would move faster,
Yeah.
but I can't get him to go any faster. I mean, God, this kid, he's unbelievable. Not only does he not talk, but he's just, that's a lie. He's my best
I know. I
worker.
came in here and I saw him working.
He's always running around here like a maniac, and he's always taking up my slack.
Nice. Keep up the good work, Mitchell.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So, when's Jonathan join us? Is he with us right now?
Yeah, he's here now, and I'm so excited to meet him. Jonathan Klinger, the VP of Public Relations for Hagerty. Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
We're doing wonderful. It is a single-digit chilly, snowy day in northern Michigan here.
I was gonna say.
I was just gonna ask.
How's the weather? But that says it all. How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You guys were talking about 2014 is over and here's 2015, and I don't know about you guys, but last year was just a blur. I mean, in a good way, but I don't know where it went.
Yeah, it seems like they keep getting faster and faster. I don't get it.
Yeah,
You know?
and personally, it was a great year, and of course, the classic car market continues to just keep eclipsing prior years, and things are great.
Awesome. Good for you guys. I tell everybody about my visit to you guys and the amazing facilities you guys have and how well you guys work together, and I tell everybody they build cars. They have a shop where they build cars. They show all their employees how the whole process works. And I mean, to me, that was just the most amazing thing.
Yeah. I mean, well, as you witnessed, I mean, it's there's a lot of us that have grown up working on cars like you have and I have, but not everybody has. And so, we want to give anyone who works here the chance to get their fingernails dirty and get at least a taste of what it takes, the amount of passion and dedication it takes to properly work on an interesting collector vehicle, whether it's restoring or maintaining or preserving or whatever it is. And you're going to have to come up here because, this year's project is particularly exciting for me, and it's also a new challenge. We found a 1960, now it's going to blank on me, a Sunbeam Tiger Mark II. So, they made the Mark I Tigers and the Mark IIs with the 289, and we found one. And the only way that we could find one that was in any sort of reasonable cost was this one had been sitting in somebody's driveway for 30 years under a tarp.
Oh my!
I mean,
hopefully not in Michigan.
In Ohio. So
okay.
it needs, and the reason that this person stopped driving it 30 years ago is because it had been in a front end collision, and it has some damage to the structure in the frame. So it needs absolutely everything in a restoration, and this one's going to probably be a 2-year project versus just one winter.
Wow. Well, I know when I was there, you guys were doing, I believe, a '69 Camaro.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yes.
Yep.
How did that? I never saw the final result. How did that come out? Did it turn out pretty good?
It turned out great, and then that summer we drove it on the Great Race, and then to several events after that. So yeah, it probably has. It's probably seen about 10,000 miles of driving time the past 2 summers.
Wow.
On a number of car tours, and then last winter for the 50th anniversary of the Mustang, we did an early Mustang Coupe, so an early '65 Coupe, or 64 and a half if you want to call it that, but it had the Mustang came out on April 17th of '64, and this one has a May production date on it, so it was a very early car with the 260 V8, and we had a lot of fun with that one.
Gotcha.
So now, so that was that was what I'd like to call a restorer's dream. It needed everything. It received a full restoration, but everything was there, and it wasn't rotted away. anything. It just needed some minor body repairs. And however, this Sunbeam Tiger is is the opposite extreme of that.
Oh my God! And now, are the Sunbeams? Do they have like a unibody, or do they have a full chassis?
Yeah, it's a unibody, and it's
Okay, yeah.
and the one we have is it's a '67.
Okay.
But it's a unibody, and it's a lot of people refer to them as the poor man's Cobra. They had influence from Carroll Shelby,
Sure.
and I mean, you're aware of what the market has done for the original Shelby Cobras over certainly the past decade, and even the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, there's to find a done one, they're starting out at high six figures, and some of them are more than $1 million now. And so people that have been priced out of those, all of a sudden the Sunbeam Tiger, which is a small, lightweight English roadster with an American V8 crammed under the hood, that is becoming more popular. And actually, what we witnessed from an auction standpoint, looking back on 2014, the Sunbeam Tiger was one of the vehicles that saw the greatest amount of appreciation and values, and I think that is one of the reasons driving that.
Yeah. No, I have a friend who has one, and it's been sitting in his garage for the last 15 years, and I know 15 years ago he paid a pretty penny for the car.
Well, whatever he paid for it 15 years ago, he can sell it for more now.
I know. That's crazy. I think he paid, and don't quote me, but about $30,000 about 15 to 18 years ago. So, and it was running. It was a running car.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's they're getting to the point where if a person is looking at justifying the financial investment or the cost in a restoration, it starts to make more sense.
Yeah.
The majority of people who have restored cars and the vehicles that I have personally restored, if I had to pay myself for my time, I would come out so far behind it'd be ridiculous. But that's okay. That's not why I do it. I like my cars the way I do.
Exactly. And I tell most people when they come to me, if you're planning on having me build this car for you and sell it and make a huge profit, it's probably not going to work out the way you're thinking. Unless you find that guy that just has to have that car, you've made it a one-off, and they're willing to pay whatever it is, right time, right place type of deal. But we don't do it for that, especially if we're doing it for ourselves. We know that we could spend all the time in the world on it. We're not thinking about getting it back. Anyways, Jonathan, we got to take a break real quick, so hang on. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In the Garage. If you're just joining us, we got our friend Jonathan Klinger from Hagerty Insurance. Check them out at www.hagerty.com. They don't only do insurance. They know insurance. They know the car. They know what goes into them. They know, so you can't fool them. You aren't going to fool these guys, because trust me, I've been to their facility and they actually build cars.
Wow.
And they have everybody that is employed by them building the cars. The girl that answered, the receptionist, I was amazed.
Wow.
And they were all in there, and they're building this car and they're learning it. So when you call Hagerty, you're not only going to, get the best rates around and the best quality and coverage for your car, but you're also going to get an experienced live person that you're talking to.
Wow.
So, and you don't see that anymore. So that's why Jonathan, since I came and saw what you guys do there, I swear I've told the story 1,000 times.
Well, wonderful. Well, everything, as you saw, everything we do, kind of revolves around the love of the automobile. So
it really does.
Yeah, and that trends through all the employees. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell everybody about how perfect the town is that you live in. How do you pronounce it? Is it Traverse?
Traverse
right?
City, yes.
Yeah, Traverse City, Michigan.
Yep, northern
it's
lower
the-
Michigan.
It is the coolest town. I was just telling these guys during break that, I mean, when you walk in through a town and they got the toy store, I noticed the toy store, and they had all the models, and it kind of reminded me of A Christmas Story, the toy store where he's standing there staring at the train going around, and they said they had a camera store. You don't see camera stores here anymore,
You really don't.
where you can go in and get help and someone will service your camera, or you can buy just a camera. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Here we
Yeah.
got Best Buy, and you got to wait for 10 people till you finally get help.
Well, it's kind of in a. I'll put a little plug in for the area. I mean, Traverse City is a little unique. We're large enough of a tourist destination that it supports unique shops like that, but yet we're not so large that it's completely inaccessible or annoying. And actually, I would say to anyone who likes to take road trips in their collectible vehicles, Michigan is a great state to come visit. It's not on top of a lot of people's minds because if you think about it, Michigan is not a drive-through state. We're surrounded on water on three sides, so you have to have a reason to end up in the state of Michigan. But boy, you want to talk about some gorgeous summer driving roads, and it doesn't typically get so hot that a lot of older vehicles don't have air conditioning, or if you're driving in a convertible, it really is, and especially if you go further north than where we are up into the Upper Peninsula, it is a wonderful road trip destination state in the summer.
Oh, and I can agree because I drove it, and we went up the peninsula, and we sat there and stared across the lake at Wisconsin, and it was so, and I did use the word picturesque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, because it really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it absolutely is, and and then of course you've got Detroit and their automotive influence and the enthusiasm around there. I mean, the automotive enthusiasm in this state is, I don't know this for a fact, but just based on my experience and the travels I've done, is probably second to Southern California. I mean, and obviously Southern California is kind of the capital of car culture and the hot rodding movement and all of that. But you come to Michigan, and especially in the greater Detroit area, I mean, you talk about serious car enthusiasts.
Yes.
And I mean, just the thing that California has over Michigan is they have 12 months of driving, whereas we have
exactly
6 if you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. Unless do you still have your old car?
I do. Do
you really?
The mighty Model A, the 1930 Model
Yeah.
A, two-door sedan.
I tell everybody about that too, and I mean, in your driving adventures you've had in that, and you drive the thing. This guy drives this car. I mean, in the snow.
Wow.
Oh yeah, year-round.
This is his. Yeah, year-round he drives his car. So see, you got a year-round car right there. It's not just Southern
that's
California.
Right. No, and I tell you what, and that car is it exists to be driven year-round, and so of course it takes extra cleaning to try and keep the most amount of salt off it as you can.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I tell you what, there's just something neat about, and maybe it's because I'm just making excuses for the winter, but that car looks so good in the snow. And,
it really does.
And
it
it
really
turns
does.
heads when people do not expect to see an old car being driven in the snow, and
No.
it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Jonathan, we got to take a break, another break real quick, so hold on. We'll be right back. We'll continue talking about that. Welcome back to In the Garage. Oh, 2015. Here we are.
Yes,
Happy
we
New Year,
are.
everybody. It's just that this is trying to get into this groove. I think we're doing a pretty good job. We got Jonathan joining us from Haggerty Insurance. Check them out at www.haggerty.com. If you got a classic car and you need insurance, these are the people to call. They're experienced. They know what they're doing. Best rates, and you'll be totally happy. Trust me, because I know you're going to get a friendly person that knows everything about cars.
With a really cool car too.
Exactly. So, I know you were having some engine problems when I was out there, Jonathan. I know you were going to do something. I forget what it was.
LA?
What's that?
On the Model A?
Yeah, on the Model A.
Well,
I know that we were.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's been a well, that's been a couple of years, but
Yeah.
the year that I drove it every day, I put 17,000 miles on it that year. About halfway
Jeez.
through, I ended up having to swap the engines out, or swap the engine, and it wasn't because it blew up and left me on the side of the road, but it developed a crack in the block that seeing that I was driving it every day, I just sourced a different engine to trade out, and since rebuilt the original engine that is now just sitting on a stand waiting for it, and
That was it,
hopefully it's a long time before I have to swap engines out again, but
Yeah.
it's ready. It's ready for when that day comes. And actually, that summer following the Great Race, that cross-country event that I've competed in a few times,
Mm-hmm.
there was that particular year. It started in Traverse City, which was just a huge treat for us. There was a fellow competitor that had a Model A pickup, and on their practice rally run, their crankshaft cracked. And so
That's
and
right.
this is the spirit of the event. I loaned them that engine. We had not test run it. It had been rebuilt. It had
That's
new
right.
Babbitts, and we helped them install it that night, and then they proceeded to use that. So that engine got 2,500 break-in miles under some pretty
There you go.
extreme conditions, and so I know it runs. It's ready. It's
There
ready
you
whenever
go.
I need it.
That was the story. I remember there was a great story behind it. I just couldn't recall. 2 years. I can't remember what I did what I had for breakfast this morning.
Yeah, no, and it's and that's an example. I mean, you see stuff like that all over. I mean, one of the great things about the automotive community, and especially the classic car hobby, is, I mean, it really is this community of the people. And yeah, the cars are awesome, but the people are what make it even better. And it's examples like that. Everybody, even when you're in a competitive type situation, people are willing to help each other out, and especially with everybody being connected socially and virtually and all of that. I mean, there's just such a huge availability of resources out there, between forums and discussions and the car clubs and all of that, and it all works together. That anyone who wants to have fun with any type of car, whether it's a new car or an old car, it's probably one of the easier hobbies to get into.
Yeah.
If you have the interest.
Oh yeah. And if you have the interest, you really have the interest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're kind of bit with that bug.
Exactly. I was just going to say the same thing. I was bit with that bug at an early age in life when I started driving, and actually when I started stealing my dad's truck at the age of 14 and getting it stuck out in the wash and figuring out how to get myself out of messes.
Exactly. And one of the things that I find myself always trying to help people understand is, one of the great things that has happened to this industry and our hobby is, over the past decade, the amount of television shows dedicated to the enthusiast side of the automotive industry, and which is great. It has opened the doors to a lot of people. I think one of the unintended side effects, though, is there's a lot of programming that focuses on the high-end auctions, which makes which they're exciting. It makes for great television, and it's fun to watch, and it's fun to see what some of these cars sell for. But there are some people that think that you have to have, six figures or $1 million+ to have an interesting old car, and that is absolutely not true at all. I mean, you can have, you can buy an interesting, you name it, a Volkswagen Beetle or whatever for $3,000, $5,000 to get into it, and certainly once you get into the $10,000 to $15,000 range, you have a lot of options of buying vehicles that are already drivable. You don't have to buy something that's a rusty hulk that needs to be restored. That's not
exactly.
That's not for everybody, but there's
I'd say the best learning experience if you did want to get into an old car is exactly like you said. You find something for $3,000, and let me tell you, it's gonna sometimes be a pain in the butt because you may be breaking down, but you are going to learn so much by keeping that thing on the road. And I'm telling you, I don't want to say it's better than college or anything like that, but it was the best schooling for me because I had to keep this thing on the road. All my cars in the beginning, I had to keep them on the road. I didn't have a lot of money, And to do so, I had to figure if I lost a water pump, if I lost a wheel bearing, if I had to change the brakes, I had to do all this. If I lost a transmission, I remember losing my first transmission and thinking, oh no, what do I do? And I remember pulling that transmission out. I didn't have a tranny jack. It was in my 1972 Ranchero. And that thing, I didn't pull the converter bolts out, so I pulled this tranny out onto my chest, and the fluid just came down onto my face, all over my hair. But I'll tell you what, I was the happiest guy in the world. I had this tranny sitting on my chest, and I'm rolling it out of there, and I'm filthy, and I'm mad at the same time. But after I completed the job, and the car ran great. I thought, oh my God, that was easy. I should have done it this way, or I should have done this or that, and I started doing it, and that's how it all happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, and you've learned, and you probably won't do it that way again.
Exactly. I sure hope not. I have a tendency to forget sometimes and have to relearn, but usually I'm a pretty quick learner, so it's after the first time. But hey, Jonathan, we got to take another break, and then I know you're busy, so I'll let you go after this next break. And yeah, you're listening to CRN Digital Talk Radio. Welcome back in the garage. If you're just joining us, we've had our good friend Jonathan Klinger from Haggerty Insurance joining us. Great car stories. I mean, really is. We need to have you on here more, Jonathan, because you're just loaded with great car stories. You do an awesome job, and I'm telling you, I got to get out there and get and visit you guys because I really miss it. And I'm not even kidding you. I've told 1,000 people the story of going and seeing you and you picking us up and you driving us in your car and taking us to the shop and what a nice facility you guys had. It was clean, it was organized. You got a nice little museum of cars going there, a nice little collection. And It really is. It's like a family business. It's a business that every entrepreneur dreams of, let me tell you, because your employees were friendly. They all seemed to know what they were doing. They all wanted to show up to work, and they were excited. You could feel the enthusiasm when you walked into the doors of this place. Seriously.
Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, it's no secret. There's nothing that's too exciting or sexy when you get to the nuts and bolts of insurance. So, one of the things we have. I mean, really, if you think about it, look at look at all the advertising about whatever type of insurance that you are constantly bombarded with, and that's why there's cute little mascots or spokespeople or whatever. Because really, what we're all talking about. I mean, it's not the core product itself is not that exciting, but we're fortunate that while insurance itself is not that exciting. I mean, what we're representing is the fun vehicles that people don't have to have. It's not their appliance, and everything we do is built to help support that lifestyle of the enthusiast side of collecting vehicles. And it doesn't. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be $1 million car. It doesn't have to be a $100,000 car. It could be a $3,000 car.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, and you guys do so much more than that too. I know you guys give back to the community big time through donations, scholarship programs. I mean, it's actually, we're coming to the end of the show, or else we could probably keep going for hours with you, Jonathan, and what Haggerty does for the community, for car lovers, for everybody. I mean, and I'm not making this up. I'm seriously, I'm not on payroll. So this is my honest view of it, because I actually flew out there and I visited their facility. I stayed with them 2 or 3 days, and it was just amazing.
This needs to become a self-perpetuating hobby, and young people who have that interest, they need to be given the ability to have fun with automobiles, and there's a lot of barriers in front of today's young people.
There is
a lot of different barriers that they don't have as direct access to cars or the lifestyle around that as their parents or grandparents did. And so, that's why we've done some of the programs we do, whether it's youth judging at car shows, or we've on the Hagerty driving experience in a number of different states where we teach young drivers how to drive manual transmissions on classic cars. You know, it's just, and then we also provide scholarship funding to people who are interested in careers in the collector side of the automotive industry, because it's, you know, when the current owners age out of this hobby, and you know the cars are going to live longer than you and I are going to. So we have to think about who's going to be the next stewards for these cars, so the cars continue to live on.
Yes, I agree 100%. And you know, as an entrepreneur, you know, myself in the business, you're always trying to come up with new ways to involve the younger generation and to not necessarily make it easier, but make it easier for a do-it-yourselfer, you know, and picture myself as a kid today and what they would need to work on their car and how to make it affordable to them, and to where they can start out with basic stuff, bolt-on stuff, you know what I mean? Because that's what I did. It was just all easily accessible back in the day. It seemed to me, if I went to a junkyard or if I went to local auto parts, they always had it in stock, and you could change out a water pump, you could change out whatever you needed to. And today, like you said, it just seems a little more difficult. There's hurdles and, you know, obstacles that they need to overcome because it's not readily available like it used to be.
Yeah. Yep. No, you're absolutely right.
So, but hey, Jonathan, we're coming down to the wire here, the end of the show. But what a great show! I appreciate you joining us. Love your stories. Tell everybody I said hello there, and I'm going to be coming back out and visiting you very shortly, because I may bring, you know, my wife and kids and the dogs and the horses.
Well, there you
and
go.
buy a house.
Perfect. You're welcome anytime, and you know, hopefully we'll see you on the road somewhere, whether it's the Scottsdale auctions next week or one of the many shows coming up.
You got it. Thanks, Jonathan.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Okay. We'll see you. Well, that was cool. That was, I mean, and I'm, like I said, I'm not on payroll, but I cannot speak highly enough. I was amazed. Like I said, as an entrepreneur and a business owner, you look at their program that they had going on, and it was just so thought out. It was, yeah, if you think about, like Jonathan was saying, insurance can be pretty boring, but what they've done to spice it up, they hit it on the head. You know what I mean?
And he sounds like a great guy.
Oh, he was he's got
like
so many
people.
Great people. They love to tell their stories. And, you know, it's not the guy that wants to hear himself talk. He's telling a story because it's a great story. He loves every second of that story, and he lived that story. You know what I mean?
I'd definitely take my car to him.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
www.hagerty.com. Check them out.
Yep. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In the Garage. Great show. Great way to start out the new year. I really love Jonathan and his stories. I mean, I'm telling you, just great people. I mean, I may sound like a broken record here, but they really were, you know? I mean, even at the breaks, right? I'm telling you guys how awesome. I'm telling you, if I could afford like a vacation home or something, or if I didn't have to work and you told me, where would you move? Where would you point to? It'd be San Luis Obispo on the beach,
yes,
or Traverse, Michigan.
I definitely want to visit.
Yeah.
It sounds beautiful, picturesque, like you
Yeah,
said.
it is picturesque.
I say we have a road trip.
Yeah. I'll meet you there. I'm gonna fly. No, I'm just kidding. That would be cool.
Right?
Actually, that would be really cool. Because you know, as a builder, for us, Mitchell and I, we're always building. I see these guys, other builders, and I see them in magazines or I see them on Facebook or the internet, and they're always at a show. And I'm thinking, how are these guys going to all these car shows and these functions and that functions? And how do they do that? Because we're so busy and so deep in building cars and making this place go that we really don't have time for all that. You know what I mean? But as a builder, my goal is, and I do have my visions, and we do drive. Once we build the car, we drive them, and we do canyon runs and freeway runs and this and that, and it's fun. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal is to build something and to drive from here to Traverse City, Michigan.
Wow.
And keep on going. Maybe Canada, and Alaska,
Wow.
New York, and
New York.
yeah. So that's what I want to do with the car, and I want it when I leave here. I want it pristine. I want just a bitchin' paint job, and when I get back, I want that paint job pitted. And seriously, I want road wear on it. And the car I'm picturing is my 50 bullet nose Studebaker, which I believe I'm just going to put like an LS7 in it with like a 4L65E, something very reliable but fast. And I just want to drive that thing.
Let's go. 2015 is here.
Well, we're not going to do it this year because I haven't even started. So slow
Oh,
down.
okay. 2016?
Yeah, maybe keep on going. The rate things are going here. Let's try 2020.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I love about you, and you just talking right now and telling me that, is like that's the type of person that you want to work for. Someone who's not just sitting back on the phone, going to the shows, taking it all in, but actually somebody right there working next to their workers. That's the type of person you want to work for. So
I try.
Just
it's hard. It's a hard balance because you
pat on
do
the back
have the
for you.
business. Well, thank you. But you do have the business aspect. So you gotta, like lately, Mitchell and I have been trying to get a lot of things moving. We got new jobs coming in. We got new stuff. We got our suspension we're working on. We got our truck we're doing. We got magazine shoots and a bunch of other stuff and coming up. Great stuff.
wow.
So it's to get that ball, like I was saying in the beginning of the show, to get that ball rolling, it's a lot of work. It's
Yeah.
exhausting.
But was that
anyways,
just a little hint to the new up-and-coming 2015 thing?
that is, we got a lot of things going on, and I know I've been talking about our suspension for a while, but it takes a long time of R&D and making it all happen. It's a lot of tedious work. You got paperwork, you got whatever. But anyways, we're coming to the end of the show. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find Hagerty?
Go to www.hagerty.com. Also, social media, Facebook, Hagerty Classic Cars, Twitter, Hagerty, and Instagram if you want to check out those really cool cars that they have, Hagerty Classic Cars.
And thanks again to SteelRubber.com, Steel Rubber Products, SteelRubber.com. Check them out, and we will see you next week.
See you next week, because you're always welcome in the garage with Bodie Stroud. Presented by Steel Rubber Products. www.steelrubber.com on CRN Digital Talk Radio. www.crntalk.com.